Hi, I'm Claire, and today we're going to be talking about shooting outside without the ability to have any lighting, reflectors, or scrims. I like to call it raw lighting. As news photographers, most of your interviews are shot in the middle of the day. The bright overhead sun can create harsh shadows and bright highlights. It's very hard to make your shot look good when the sun's directly overhead. Ideally, the best time to shoot outside is during the golden hour, which is the first and last hour of sunlight during the day. During times like this, the light is softer and warmer. It can make your video look almost magical. Try setting up outdoor interviews right as the sun is setting, or bright and early in the morning. More often than not, however, you'll be shooting in a situation like this. Midday, the sun high in the sky, and you don't have any reflectors or scrims to help you out. The first thing to do when you arrive at a location is to locate the sun. Is it directly overhead or low in the sky? Is it diffused by clouds or shining bright? It's also important to know where the sun is casting shadows. One trick I've discovered is to hold your hand up to the light and move it slightly, like this. You'll get a sense of the direction of the sun and how the shadows will be cast on your subject's face. The next important thing to do when you arrive at a location is to scope out your surroundings. For instance, I'm at a park. I see there's a parking lot behind me and another open field. I've already located the sun that is coming down from this direction and hitting me on the face, but I can locate some trees over there that can provide shade and an overhang on a building. It's a little louder over there, but it could be a nice place for an interview. Let's see how the decisions we make in choosing our location for the interview affects how our shot looks. Ow. Conducting your interview in the bright sun can be very uncomfortable for the person you're interviewing. The sun will cause them to squint, and if it's directly overhead, you'll often see dark rings around their eyes. I would not want to be looking into the sun for a 15-minute interview. Putting the sun behind your subject can create a nice backlight, but often your subject's face will be too dark if you don't have reflectors to fill in the shadows. And you might get this annoying glare. While scouting my location, I noticed some nice shade trees. What would happen if I shot the interview over there? This is what it would look like if I shot in the shade. My face looks fine, but the background is totally blown out. Lisa, could you iris down, please? Now, the background looks fine, but my face is too dark. Yeah, this is definitely not gonna work, people. It's always important that the background is not brighter than your subject's face. Look for a place like this. There are trees providing shade and a building in the distance, which is a much darker background than my previous location. Now this is a little bit better. Now we found a place where I'm in the shade, the background's in the shade, I'm not squinting, but see, the background's really boring. Now this is a perfect place to do an interview at the park. It's an ideal shot. I'm in the shade and the background isn't blown out. I'm not squinting, and I have some interesting things still going on behind me. Remember, you don't always have to shoot a standard head and shoulders interview. Instead, try interviewing your subject in their environment. It saves time, can mask difficult lighting situations, and makes your story more interesting to watch. For instance, if you're doing a story about a playground, interview the kids on a playground, not under a tree. Or, if you're doing a story about the economy, interview a business owner while they're working. Or, try placing something in the foreground of your shot. Like if you're doing a story on handicapped parking, this might be a nice shot. If you're doing a story about traffic, get creative. Have some cars driving through your shot. So, that's it for today. I hope you've learned a little about exposure, contrast, and being creative with light. Now go be brilliant and have fun. For MMJ University, this is Claire Costanza, signing off.